Well, that was nice.
Look at that! Right as the music ends, face pops up.
Yay! There's Kristin.
Ta-da! Yeah, I need to get my sound effects up. That's right. Hey, Kristin, welcome. We're actually just barely starting now. It's 10 minutes late, and it is Deuce Standard Time.
Yeah, we might need to call it Kristin Standard Time too.
Yep. Yeah, I think so.
After, like I was asked to be.
You were, yes. So, Kristin, did you get that overlay with your info and your hashtag?
No.
All right, well, and that's why we like green rims. Okay, so we're here, we're late, it's Happy Tribe time, and glad you're here, and I'm glad it's Friday. Can I just say, what a week. What a week.
I love Friday, too.
You do? What do you love about Friday, Jimmy?
Friday is my long run day, and I get to do my long run because that's what I set Friday aside for. And I love it.
Did he just say he likes Friday because it's a long run day?
Yes, he
Apparently.
Wow.
Just coming off a marathon, though, so my long run was only 10 miles today.
You're scary, James. We love you, but you're scary.
No kidding. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that.
And I actually like to run. So, you know, this is not somebody who doesn't like to run, but it's just 10 miles is a short, long run for you. That's scary.
It is short. I was very disappointed. So was my dogs.
Aww.
They won't get back in the truck unless we do like 15. They're like, what do you mean? I'm not getting in the truck.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and on that note, it's Friday, and we're all glad for our own reasons.
Yes.
Oh, can I just tell you that your show that with SEO Wise, that really shook me up.
Shook you up? Why?
Yeah.
Shook you up.
Yeah, you guys were covering some really really heavy things for me, like in this HOA space, because I do feel like I fit that cheerleader bill. Yeah, I mean it's hard to hear people saying you shouldn't be here, you know.
Well, you know, clearly this was our opinion from the don't be here thing. Okay. I mean, I don't know if it was clear, but John, Alex, and I were all like, you know, just get in and do it. So what our biggest message was, and I hope it came across clear, was SEO-wise and Gombach absolutely believe we have drunk the Kool-Aid of semantic search to the level that the two biggest competitors in the realm are remaining competitors and working together. We believe it. That was supposed to be the message. Did that come through to those of you who are watching?
Oh yeah, big time. I think so.
Good. So, yeah. Hopefully David Amerlin would have been happy.
Oh, I know. I had this comment written out. David Amerlin, like, listen to David Amerlin, like, everything that he said. Done. That's the end of my comment. And then I've decided to not send it. But, yeah. Yeah. That's the this is our window. This is the reason why I'm here, is because I want to, my goal, like, I'm doing whatever I'm doing here, I'm learning, but my end goal is to provide a space that people can have a voice where they don't have a voice elsewhere. So why do we want to discourage that?
Absolutely.
I couldn't agree more. That was very well put.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So, here we are. And Kristin, I'm just sending you the, I just sent in private chat the lower third.
You know what? I'm just about to upload it.
Okay. Because, you
good
know,
like that.
I'm all uptight about, you know, doing things a certain way, so yeah, I take everybody's branding away and I make it mine.
I don't mind that. I signed up for the Deucedom.
You know, talk about breaking rules, huh? Yeah, you can come on my show, but you can't brand yourself.
Am I wearing the wrong shirt?
No, actually, because your branding is a perfect match for the branding for Network Roundtable. But no, you can't wear that shirt on Get Going on Google Plus or Get Busy
Okay.
or yeah.
Oh, Dennis, come on. Really?
I've got the Bombach shirts in the line there somewhere that I'm supposed to be doing for you.
Yeah. We need to talk. Where are they? Okay. Actually, we need to change them a little bit. So, all right, we are off to a really slow start. We're 5 minutes into the show. That's 10 minutes late. That's 15 minutes into the time I promised you we'd be going.
And it's my
And
fault.
we've done nothing. So, and we don't even know where Sherry is. We lost our quote queen. But I'm going to turn it over right now to Top Jimmy. And James, what do you got for us on dealing with stress? Because, hey, all of us in small business, yeah.
Stress is the name of the game in small business.
We live it.
Horrible. Horrible. Today is stress relief is just to simply think positively. You don't even have to do anything physical to do that. You can do that anytime, anywhere, all the time would be preferable. You know, the glass is half full mentality, it really works. And I know, Dennis, I'm going to point this out because I remember these things. You're the glass is always full all the time, right?
Have I explained that on here before?
Do it.
I haven't heard it.
Okay, so, I mean, it's just a fact. The glass is full. The question's wrong. The question leads you to believe that it's either one or the other, but the reality is it's half full of water and it's half full of air. The last time I checked, I've never seen a glass that had water in the bottom and a true vacuum on the top, lacking anything whatsoever. There's contents in there.
Always full.
It's 100% full all the time. You may not like what it's full of,
Right.
but it's always full.
Anyway.
So there you go. That's my philosophy.
See, I remembered that, though, that your glass was always full.
Yep.
You impressed with that?
I agree
So-
with that.
Right. And if you approach your days and your dilemmas in small business with that attitude, you're going to go a huge way to relieve your stress, just right there. Nothing has to change except that simple attitude of, you know, the glass is half full, I'm doing this for a reason, I may be having problems, but my means to the end are what they are, and I'm going to get to that end, and I'm going to deal with what I deal with on the way, and I'm not going to let it make me lose my mind or freak me out or turn me off to the whole course in general. And obviously I'm a trainer, so I'm going to throw in the fact that when you are thinking positively, you are helping your mind, you're helping your cardiovascular system, and you're reducing your stress, which helps keep all your hormones in balance. So just thinking that the glass is half full does wonders for your brain and your body. And if your hormones are running correctly, you're going to be able to deal with your small business dilemmas just so much better than if they're out of whack. And you know, they can get out of whack through food, they can get out of whack through lack of sleep, but they can get hugely out of whack by thinking negatively. So to wrap it up and not take too much time here, think positively, your day will go better.
Ta-da!
Just a second.
Most people are surprised to know that if you think positively, you actually are helping your cardiovascular system. Because if you're thinking negatively, you're going to constrict your blood vessels, and oxygen won't flow as well. So, you know, your cardiovascular system benefits greatly from thinking positively. Just tried to use up some time there for you.
Thanks. Because I was trying to figure out where Sherry is.
Well, I have to agree with Top Jimmy, and that is very good advice. And if you think positive, it makes things in your life go positively. So it really adds to the quality of your life. So I believe in that concept. I have for years, and I practice that.
What you think has so much power. It's a lost art in our modern technological world that you literally have control of so much just through your thinking. You know,
Absolutely agree.
Right, I've said it before on the show that, 99 out of 100 times the reason you can't do something is because you're saying I can't do it. That is the reason why. You don't need to look any farther. Say you can do it.
Yeah. I can't do it. Well, you can't do it. So.
That's right. I mean, if you say you can't do it, you're done before you tried.
Yeah.
It's all on you. It's all on you at that point. I have to tell that to my daughter constantly. She says I can't too much. She's 10 though. She's learning.
All right.
We got a lot of comments about the glass.
Yeah? Did we fire up the comment wall?
You did.
Yeah. William Rock, what happens if the glass is spilled? Well, then it's completely full of air and there's water on the table.
Still full.
Chris Vogelman, of course Chris says this, I have actually seen an empty glass in the chem and physics lab. Nerd observation. Yeah, okay. I can believe that there could be a completely empty glass. I can buy that.
In the physics lab, yeah.
William Rock again, how tall is the glass? Well, I'm not sure it matters.
How tall is the glass? Wow.
Is the glass completely tall, or is it only partially tall? Or is it short?
The tall glass is still full.
But the short glass isn't. That reminds me, there's another one about the short bus in here. Chris says, what is the glass?
Yeah, it's William Rock.
William Rock says something about the short bus. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like talking about riding the short bus, he says. But we also should shout out to Julia Gouge, who I think may be joining us for the first time.
Yes,
And
I haven't seen Julia.
Yeah, she was asking, in fact, about the happy hour part. She was like, so what are we drinking? What's going on? And then it just worked its way right into the glass discussion. So way to go, Julia, for jumping in.
Positive mentality. We're drinking it up.
I'm drinking something that's not Top Jimmy approved.
I've been staring at it. I tried not to call you out. You called yourself out.
Yeah.
What do you
Diet
got?
Dr. Pepper, you guys can send me the check. Because nobody on earth talks about Diet Dr. Pepper more than I do.
You love it as much as I love Tab?
Tab. Oh my
You
God.
love Tab?
Yes. The grocery stores, I have to buy everything they have, so they'll actually restock it, because I think I'm the only person in town who drinks it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny, Tab.
Yep.
How 80s could you get?
Yeah.
The only thing more 80s than Tab would be Jolt Cola, I think.
I also love
I
Fresca,
see
which was
Jolt
very
on the
80s.
shelf more often than I see Tab on the shelf.
I do love Fresca. Yes, that is
Yeah.
an 80s drink, but it's still around in abundance. And they've actually got 3 flavors now of Fresca.
So let's talk about that. What's your favorite? I like peach.
Me too.
What? I don't know anything about this.
You like pea?
Sorry. We're
That's all
geeking
I
out.
heard.
Flavored Fresca.
Peach flavored Fresca.
Oh, peach. Okay.
That's good.
I'm like, whoa, that's all weird.
Well, come on, Kristen.
That's outside of the box.
Well, it is my show. So.
Well, okay, Top Jimmy, here's a question for you.
Okay.
Have you heard of people drinking their pee for vitamins?
Oh my God.
Not personally, but I have heard of this. I've heard, there's instances of people being out without water too long and resorting to that, yes.
When I was in massage therapy school, I had a teacher that she taught us that you should, and she actually tried to give it as an assignment, that we should challenge ourselves and push ourselves outside the box to one time during that session drink our pee in the morning when we first wake up.
Ooh.
Unless it was a secret, no one did it.
This just became the small business gross me out hour.
The glass is half full of pee, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is going to remain half full of pee
Forever.
I mean, what? Ah!
Remember the guy that got stuck in the canyon, Slot Canyon in Moab, and had to cut his arm off?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Many of people attribute to him being able to survive because he was filling up his camelback with his pee and re-drinking it most a couple of days there.
Can I just point something out? He also cut his arm off,
Right.
which is not something that I'm planning on doing.
Well, but it saved his life, okay? So,
Yeah.
it wasn't like he had a lot of choices there.
Right.
No. So, for him, I give you this. And
Right.
Kristen, for your teacher, she gets this.
Kristen, your teacher drink her pee. Did she prove to the class that she would do it?
Okay, we're stopping.
Oh, she did.
You gotta stop.
She does that on a regular basis.
Oh my God. Okay, so
Name the name.
Okay, this is getting gross.
don't say the name, but I think we should leave this discussion with Christopher Vogelman's comments. He says all we're saying is give P a chance. Let's move on. Let's go to something else.
That would be
I'm
good.
stuck in the desert with my rock in an arm, my arm pinned in a rock. I'll give it a chance.
There you go. Okay. We can all agree on that, can't we?
Yeah.
I just want to say, this is supposed to be that one show each week of mine that doesn't go completely off the rails.
Sorry.
All right? And this is worse than, like, Pond Boys right now.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either, but please don't start the crack jokes, okay? So,
Crack jokes?
yeah, no. I'm gonna have to take control. I'm gonna have to take control of the show and say we're not talking about this anymore. We're not talking about
Yeah,
this
I
anymore.
agree.
No crack either.
All right, well, I like to drink fresh coconut juice. This is called jelly water. This is not coconut milk. And I just had a gallon of it delivered right here to me. I'd already paid for it. And it's just right fresh off the trees, all organic. So let's talk about that. How about it?
Top Jimmy
It's full of enzymes. Yeah, it's very good for you.
Very good for you.
Yeah. So
Can I throw out another stupid fact about coconut? In World War II, in the South Pacific, when they were low on blood, they were using the juice from immature coconuts to replace blood, and it worked.
And that's true, and that's jelly water, and that's what's sitting here on my counter. 1 gallon of it. And
That's
I'll
how
drink
good
all of it.
coconut water is with your body, right there.
Yes, it's electrolyte. Yeah.
Right.
So it's very good for you. So, anyways, all right.
All right.
Not to change the subject or anything.
No, you did good changing the subject.
Nice segue, Gina. Way to go.
Thank you. All right.
So, do we want to talk about a quote?
Sure.
Yeah, because we don't know where Sherry is, our quote queen, and, quite honestly, I mean, she's been my quote queen my entire life.
Kristen, just have a good quote up there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sherry says, I texted Gina, my internet went down there, trying to reconfigure it now.
Oh, how funny. It's always my internet that goes down. So
Yeah. It's also funny that she texted you, which costs her like $1.80 and costs you like $17.
All right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Let me look at my phone here.
That's what they're doing.
You sound
They're
great
setting
today,
you guys
too,
up.
Gina. Oh, we're
Well,
all
thank
talking.
you. All right. Okay.
Well, I have a quote if nobody else has one.
Go
That would
for
be
it.
good.
And it
You can be
happens
this week's quote queen, because I am not going to be the quote queen.
well,
And
it
I have not received the text, and that'll probably come in like 2 days. So.
And cost you $20.
Yes,
Right,
and
that's
I'm not joking. This is not a joke. It's true. So anyway.
Okay, so this is actually something I just found in my stream, and I thought it was too much to pass off as coincidence. It's by Panache Desai, and he says, "Trust in your natural talents. The divine would not have given them to you if you were not meant to use them."
Oh, that's good.
Beautiful.
So I
Like
thought that was pretty cool and kind of tied nicely into what we're talking about today. So
Yeah. Oh, love that. You could apply that on so many levels, like why are certain herbs planted in the earth? Like, why are you given talents if you're not meant to use them? I love that. Good job.
Yes, very good job.
And what happens if you don't use those talents? What happens if you don't use them? They get taken away.
yeah, I mean it's interesting as well to get past, I think, your fear, right? The fear you have of doing something that maybe makes you use that talent, but you know you're meant to do it. You know, so maybe it helps people balance out the fear by saying, okay, but I know that I need to use this talent. I was given it for a reason.
But the fear is a good
Yeah.
part because it helps you use that talent and propels you forward. So embrace the fear and do it anyway.
Well said.
Yes, good job, Stephanie.
Oh, well, I didn't do it. I'm going to post the post in the comment stream because it was not me. It was Panache Desai. But I really loved it. I thought it was very appropriate for today. So
I
Gina
think
is
so,
part
too.
vampire drinking blood substitute. That was from
my.
Mom John.
Yeah, I mean, again, wrong show. That would be the show on Sunday evenings that Greg and Carolyn do. Oh,
the
no,
zombie
wait.
apocalypse.
Zombies, vampires.
This is my blood substitute.
Yeah, that's do you limit yourself?
Yeah.
Dennis, do you tell yourself that you can only have one a day? Because that's what I had to do with Tab. Otherwise, I would drink like 6 of them a day.
One
So I
a
just had to
day,
say I can only have
like
one.
an empty milk jug or what?
Exactly. One
No, I-
2-gallon bottle a day.
No, that's not the point. Come on.
I'm just gonna
Look
leave
at
you guys
this.
alone.
This is so great. I love this. Do you guys all see this?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm full of enzymes. Does this mean that I'm very good for you? Yes, it does mean that. You are very good for us. Anyone with positive energy is good.
Yes. Very good.
Yes. He also says, embrace the fear and give it a noogie.
I love it.
Fear.
And
Is that
I
top
agree.
Jimmy approved?
Yeah. Yeah, give that fear a noogie.
Yeah.
That's way top Jimmy approved.
Yeah.
So, our subject is trust, and in the green room we were talking about, so are we going to have to do a trust fall?
A
and-
trust fall. Okay.
Have you really been in a third world country that long?
No, I know what it is.
Trust fall is.
I'm surprised we're still talking about it. But anyways, okay.
Okay, so I promised everybody that I'd tell a story. That's really surprising. Dennis is going to tell a story on a Hangout on Air. I know, right? Like, oh my. Okay, so here's the story, though. I was at one of these conferences. They were doing a trust fall. It was actually a whole trust walk to a trust fall. So we blindfolded our partners, and we walked around this hotel, and we weren't allowed to touch the person that was assigned to us. These were people, our partners were people we didn't know, okay?
Right.
So they randomly assigned someone you hadn't met, and then you had to guide them through the hotel only using your voice. And so, you know, it's a lot of forward, right, left, watch, you know, you need to be careful of this, that, and the other thing. And at the very end of it, you actually climbed them up a set of stairs onto a massive platform and trust fall to a big mat. It was, anyway, this one guy that was being guided, he was in his 40s, he didn't know his right from his left.
That's tough.
And the guy's struggling through this, and he had asked a couple of times, you know, this is not working very well. And, you know, and the people said, just, work through it, you'll be okay. Dude, in a suit, silk tie, loafers, whole deal, walks into the swimming pool.
Walked into the swimming pool?
Yeah.
And where was his partner? He didn't
His
stop
partner
him?
was trying to tell him what to do, but the whole experience had gotten so stressful that neither of them were trusting each other, and it literally went off the rails or off the deck or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
So that was the only time I ever saw somebody with a soaking suit in my life. I was really glad, actually, that I was out there and that I was the one guiding the other person at the time, because I got to see the whole deal.
Yeah.
Fun.
So were you doing it all at the same time? Dennis, was it like multiple groups and everybody was guiding their partner, or was it one couple at a time? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the entire thing, there were about 200 of us, and so we were broken up into 200 or 100 groups of two, and we're all just, wandering around the hotel.
Sounds like mayhem.
It was mayhem. Yeah.
But that was part of the point too, right?
Yep. That was part of the point.
What were the other hotel guests doing as they saw you walking by?
Looking at us like we were weird.
Yes, that would be a good thing to do. That's funny. All right.
Did you guys see what Julia Gouge said?
No.
Oh, I am in 8th grade now. Trust balls. Oh, good
I'm
one.
talking about the, but never mind. Sorry.
You know what? I'm blocking the next person that brings it up, okay? End of story.
I don't know if you heard me, but I went off topic again.
Yeah.
It's okay. So we're going to stay on topic, since we're going to talk about trust, right?
Yes. So how does trust relate to small business? I mean, that's our point. Hey, we might get a second quote today. That would be...
Oh, yay!
Hi.
Hey, sister.
Welcome to Small Business Happy Hour.
You're back, Sherry.
I'm back. Yay. We love technology.
We're glad to see you.
Yes. And I can relate, unfortunately, all too well, my dear sister.
Yes. They tell me I now have a completely stable line, which they've told me every time I've called when it's had a problem.
That's
Yeah.
theirs.
So I will never have this problem again.
Until you need to call back again and have them fix it
Right.
and tell you again.
Until next week, right?
Yep, exactly.
Good luck with that.
Did you hear what James said?
No, but hopefully it's about stress relief. What is it, James? Enlighten me.
James, go ahead. It was too funny. You cracked me up.
After you said they said you had a completely stable line, I said, well, that's probably their completely stable line.
Exactly.
Keep our
Oh, that's a good one.
customers right where we want them.
That's their favorite excuse.
Okay, so I got a question. What do you think that does for the trust? Like, why do we all say that, right?
Yeah, way to hit it
What does that do? Does anyone trust them when they say it's not going to work? We all immediately assumed, yeah, but they're just idiots. They don't know what they're talking about. Why would we believe them?
Yeah. There is no trust between me and my internet provider, that is for sure.
Okay.
And who is your internet provider?
Uh-oh.
No, I don't think we want to go there, but my quote, I probably should learn something from it, so.
Okay, go ahead.
Are you ready for it, really?
We are.
Yes.
It's from Kay Eikenberry. I'm not sure who she is, but she says, one of the most valuable things you can do to create higher levels of trust is to trust others more. Don't wait for them to prove themselves to you. Trust them. So I will work on that. I will try to give them higher levels of trust. Trust them more.
Well, that's interesting, because at what point do you decide, either the relationship's not worth it, or it's never going to get better.
Yeah.
Can you have a relationship with somebody that you don't fully trust, or do you just have to say, no, it's just not going to work for me?
Yeah, I think in most instances that makes sense. Unfortunately, I live on a little street where 5 houses have no options. We have only one option. So I'm stuck in this relationship. But in general, I would say that you're right. You can move on, definitely. And in relationships with people or clients, I think this makes a lot of sense. To give them the trust.
Right.
To just go in like, I can trust this person and they're going to live up to my expectations, until maybe they give you a reason to distrust that. But don't go in the opposite way. Don't go in mistrusting people.
No, they'll sense that, and you won't be able to maintain your client base that way, because they'll pick up on that.
Yeah.
You can't build a relationship on going right in and not trusting them. It has to be the opposite.
Yeah, and especially with employees, they generally will live up to your, if you give them some latitude and some ability to make a decision and to build on the gifts that they have and bring that to your business, they, in most instances, will step up to that and really amaze you. It's when you try to micromanage and don't trust them with tasks that they can clearly handle that you get in a problem.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yep. That's very good. Yeah, and vice versa. If you're an employee in that situation, it's time to move on. You don't need that.
Yes, which is what I did today. This is my last day.
All right.
Yay!
Wow, your
you
picture
need one of these.
I think most of us are working for ourselves, so that it goes out to the listeners out there. If you've got a overbearing boss that won't give you a little bit of freedom, explore your options is all I'm saying. Don't walk up and quit today, please, but explore your options.
Yeah.
Very good advice.
Did you have something you wanted to say, Kristen?
Yeah, I think in anything you have to establish your boundaries. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to have come past your line of comfortability? If you know right off the bat what you're comfortable doing and what you're comfortable giving, then you're going to have less chance of someone taking advantage of you, because you're going to already establish, and also establish the boundaries. Let them know. Just say, okay, this is where I am, and this is how I operate. And if they don't want to operate that way, then that's fine, and you can make a mutual decision that this isn't working, let's part, because it's not something that is working for either party. So I think that definitely establishing your own boundaries and then communicating that is key in order to even lay the groundwork before you even ask, are you going to trust me? Am I going to be trustworthy to you?
Yeah, I like that, and I think that that's something that there's a couple of elements that really hit me from that. One is that you actually have to know what your boundaries are. Like, you have to have a sufficient understanding of, here's what's okay for me, or here's what it takes for me to feel comfortable in, for example, a client relationship. This is what came to mind. Since we do work on our own, a lot of us, I bet a lot of us don't have a very sturdy client agreement that sets out, here's how we're going to work together, and here's what happens if I don't live up to my end or you don't live up to your end. And even though, I say that, I know what my consulting agreement looks like, and it's way too light. It doesn't address all those issues. And the problem is that up until now, I haven't had a ton of clients, so that was okay. But, as you get more and more clients, and as you develop relationships, where maybe they're a little bit less time intensive, you don't know each other as well before you decide to work together, that could become more and more important. So, to me, it's a chance to, when you're thinking about that, it's also a chance to say, okay, what is it that I would expect, and I need to tell them up front. I'll put that in my consulting agreement. I'm only available between 9 and 5 on weekdays, for example. You know, that's something you probably need to say up front, although I don't know that anyone actually says it if they don't have an office, you know, or if they don't have a store. Most consultants would never say that. You know, here's when I'm available to you. But that could be a deal breaker for people.
I have to props to Les Dossie because you said that unless you have an office, Les Dossie is very, very good about doing that. When we first started to collaborate, he did all this, and this is like where I even got the idea. So he taught me that. So yay, Les. We're not working together right now because my computer is just too unstable, but I do hope to continue that once I get a little bit more reliability. But until then, he needs someone that's professional, and I respect him enough to. I mean, you know, right now, Les, I respect you so much, and and if I am not a right fit for you, then you need to do what you need to do, and I will support you if that means going to someone else, and I will still love you because rock, man.
Aww.
Yeah, there isn't
out
a
there.
aww sound effect.
It was in my heart.
Yeah, Jimmy gave it to you.
That was nice.
I meant it too. I hope it didn't sound mockingly.
No, I didn't take it like that.
Good.
So there's actually plenty of people. This kind of apparently touched a nerve, got people interested or talking in the comments. Ammon John says, I give trust and generosity up front. Someone has to extend first. I get ripped off sometimes, but the way I see it, that's their loss, not mine. I walk away satisfied with my behavior, and I learned who not to trust. Yeah. So I love that. That's great.
That is great.
What?
No, there was an exchange between Christopher and Ammon, and it ended with Ammon John's, I always say my boss is an idiot, but I get revenge by sleeping with his wife because he's self-employed.
Oh my goodness. Because he's self-employed. That's so monogamous of you.
I love it. That's so great.
Oh my gosh.
You want to read what you've got up there, Kristen?
Yeah, I love this. From Nazim Beltran. I am very lucky that after... Okay, does anyone have an Italian accent? Maybe they should say this. Or should I just try it?
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no accent. I'm very lucky that after working years with great customers here in Italy, the trust factor is based on how you resolve the issues they need resolved. After that, all future estimates, agreements, etc. are really easy. And then he goes on to say, it's fundamental to establish an easy route towards doing great work. Nice.
That is nice.
Yep. Gina, what about you? Do you think, you know, in the different types of businesses that you've worked in, do you think that trust is important no matter what business you're in? Or are there certain, you know, industries or types of business where it's more important than others?
Well, that's a very good question because when I was in manufacturing, trust was very important, but it wasn't putting people's lives at stake. And when I was in, had the outpatient hospital and the sleep disorder clinic, trust was huge because, well, of course they're doctors, so they know what they're doing, but it was important for me to trust in them and ensure the safety of the clients. So, which I did. I read, like, scans, brain scans, and all these kind of things that I don't even know anything about, but they taught me just to keep an eye on making sure that everything was going well. But everything went extremely well, and I was extremely fortunate in that. I hired good people, I had a good feeling, and it was usually within the first 5 minutes that I knew who was going to be hired and who was not. And the businesses had good reputations, and Yeah. So trust is very important in business.
I was going to say something pretty much along the same lines. One business model where more trust needs to be in than other ones. It's businesses like mine where you're dealing with the person's body, or
Right.
businesses that Gina has had, her clinic, and you're actually dealing with the person's body. In manufacturing, something goes wrong, you work out how to resolve it. You may need to remanufacture the customer's goods, or you give them a discount, but something goes wrong when you're working with the body. You have broken a huge layer of trust there.
Exactly.
You know, there's nothing worse for me than knowing what I'm telling my client to do has injured them. It's brutal. You know, I can't even explain the feelings when I know what I have asked them to do has hurt them, and in a physical manner or a mental manner for that matter. So I would have to say, when your business deals with the human body or the mind, that's probably a little higher trust factor than businesses where you're, say, manufacturing goods or whatnot.
That's right.
Just a question, though, James, do you think that, because you're talking about how much you care, do you think that if companies that maybe manufacture something that's not so personal or sell something that's not so personal, one way they could establish trust would be to show that they care more?
Yes. Sure.
And
For
it was
sure.
important for me in the manufacturing business to ensure that I did a good job, okay? But, okay, if we messed up, too bad, so sad, we'll fix it, okay? We can do it all over again for free. This time it's free. Here, take it. But when it's human bodies, it's a little bit different. So.
I think there's ways to show you care in both aspects, but you know, the repercussions. The repercussions are just different, and we've touched on it a couple of times already. That repercussion in manufacturing is you're probably out a little bit of money redoing it or giving them a discount, and you can show you care by doing that. We probably all dealt with manufacturers or a similar type situation where the vendor said, well, sorry, that's the way it is. You know, that vendor clearly doesn't care, so you can show you care. But the ramifications of doing something wrong, incorrect, with the human body or mind, you can certainly say you care, but there's a bigger road to recovery there.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So,
sorry, I had one more question for Gina and James as well. Do you think that? Okay, now I've forgotten it. No. Oh no, I know what it was. Do you think that it's easier to motivate employees and teams when you have something imperative, like the fact that you're working to, you know, improve people's health or something like that? Is it easier to get people on board and help them care more than it would be in, you know, a store where you just sell products? You know, does that make it easier to establish trust inside your team because of the goal of your business?
I would have to say, oh, go ahead.
You go ahead, Gina.
Okay. I would have to say no, because with my manufacturing business, which again was just medical and dental equipment mostly, and electronic components, which is not life-threatening to anyone, I still motivated the staff. Every single week we would have whatever, ethnic day, and you know, we would because there was all kinds of different well, cultures working there, and so we would celebrate whoever's culture. It didn't matter, but every week it would be a different thing. So they would bring in something. I would provide most of it, which meant I would buy it from a store because I can't cook. And it was just a really nice way of motivating the staff, and I truly motivated them. I made them feel like they were appreciated because, well, they were. When I moved into the medical profession, of course, now they're all professionals, so it's a little bit easier because, well, they know much more than I do, so I can't supervise or, well, although I did supervise, but I can't, judge on their medical whatever. But I could judge on the patient's responses and watch on how well they did. So I trusted the doctors and lawyers and psychologists and all of those people to do their job, and they did a great job. But in manufacturing, you're getting people who are not trained in anything, basically. And, yeah, I trusted them, too, and I motivated them and ensured that they knew that they were an important part of the success of this business. And so it worked well.
I think what Gina's talking about kind of comes after the hiring phase, though. And yes, as an owner, you can definitely make your employees aware that you care and trust them and believe in them and make them feel like part of your group. But manufacturing, as opposed to the medical field or a field I'm in, and Gina kind of said it, the manufacturing people, they really are, they might be going from job to job to job just because, they don't have a true skill. And then, yes, after you hire them, you can make them feel like they're part of the family. But in the medical field or in training, there's a lot of bad trainers out there. I think a medical field is a better example than the training field. Those people probably already love what they do and usually are going into that for the right reasons. So from that aspect, I think it's a little easier. But as Gina said, it doesn't have to be. Once you hire the person, you can make a level playing field for everybody.
Well said, Jimmy.
Kristin, I believe you've got a question.
Okay, so what is it that is going to drive traffic to our trust, or to our sites, to our businesses? That's going to be like our web traffic, right? That's what we're working here online, and so we really need to look at our analytics and how trust affects that. Amazon has talked about his experience with working with Majestic, how his trust, you could visibly see that the people that were following him have a trust factor, that they trust him, and so he drives people there to him. What do you guys think about that? Like, how do you think that trust affects your analytics?
Well, I mean, in an online world, especially one as open as what we now have through Hangouts on Air, trust it's becoming easier and easier to quantify whether or not you can or should not have trust, and therefore trust is either built or destroyed quicker. As a result, trust today will affect analytics much more than it would have historically. That would be my 2 cents.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on social media, of course, everybody knows that, but to me it would seem like it's also a way to get a lot quicker feedback about what kind of job you're doing, getting people to trust you. Because in the past, for example, maybe you didn't get any indication that a client was unhappy until they just didn't order from you anymore. Whereas now they could leave your circles, or they could leave a bad review, or it might help you in the sense that you get earlier feedback that's not necessarily the end of the relationship, which I think is a good thing. You can't solve a problem if you don't know the problem's there, and sometimes if it's a client who decides to leave, by that point they've already made up their mind. Whereas now it's easier for them to keep in touch with you and send you more signals that things aren't going well, so you can actually try to reach out to them and solve the problem first.
Yeah, almost
Love that.
actually that people are more comfortable emailing stuff that they wouldn't say to your face.
Exactly. And it stinks because sometimes it makes it very easy for them to walk away, but by the same token, it makes it easier for them to express some discontent that they would never have done if they didn't have that medium. So you at least know there's a problem.
As long as they didn't change their email and walk and shut down completely, at least you can get in touch with them and try to build a bridge.
Right, exactly.
But it doesn't stink.
Go ahead.
It doesn't stink because it is good information. They're giving you feedback that maybe they're more comfortable with if they send it in email rather than face-to-face. Here you go, I don't like this. So you still receive the information that you need to be able to analyze and then either correct the situation or get rid of them as a client.
Right. And I mean, I think that's the other important part is kind of what we talked about at the beginning. At some point, you have to also recognize that everybody's not going to be a great fit for me, and there will be people who, you know, I'm not going to be able to work with, and you just need to kind of interpret, okay, which social signals are helping me find those people? You know, am I attracting the right people? And, you know, do I have all these likes but nobody's engaging with my posts, for example?
Right.
One thing that made me think of is the awesome ability that we have to use different means of reaching out to people. So we might write something and then someone may question your values. This happened to me recently, actually. And he was like, what's going on here? And he had this total perception of me. And then I was like, hey, do you have a minute? Let's do a video hangout. And now we have like this awesome like relationship because we talked it, talk things out. We could see face to face, and oh my gosh, the trust is huge with us now. We've never been there before if we could only rely on written word.
Well, that's very cool. Well done.
Thanks.
Yay! And of course, this is why we're all on G+, right? Because we've all had some Kool-Aid, and we really believe that this is the best way to be able to communicate with people. I mean, you know, yes, there are other video conferencing things, but it's for sure that if you're already on G+, this is the way to do it.
Oh yeah, integration.
Yep.
Whew. Why would you want to like be involved with something where you have to go here and there and everywhere in order to see things? Like, why make yourself go nuts because of all the extra work that you have to do when Google makes it really easy to be right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying. Hashtag just saying.
Little commercial.
Free plug.
Hey, it's not like we're on Skype and I'm doing it.
Ouch.
All right. Well, we are, I'm not sure, we're kind of over, kind of not over. We're about the hour mark. We're late because we started late. So let's go through last thoughts on trust. And I'm going to drop through the panel in the following order because this is my left to right. That's just easiest for me. So, Gina, Kristen, Sherry, Stephanie, Jimmy, you're going to get the last word.
It's going to be used up. I'm going to have to dig deep.
Go ahead, Gina.
All right. So I think trust is a very important part of business. And it's not just trust in your employees, but trust in your customers. And if you take the time to really listen to what they're saying, either employees or customers, you will have a much better understanding of what trust level you have and how to deal with the situation or and a situation. So you should, if it's necessary. Anyways, yeah, so, but I feel the most important thing is to look inside yourself and listen to what your heart is saying And if you say that person's good or that person's bad or something's wrong with that person, listen to it, analyze it, of course, and then make your decision. But, yeah, go within yourself and go with your own trust, and you'll make the right decision.
Kristin.
That's awesome. I love that you brought it back to yourself, because that's what you really need to do. Is you need to have a core, a strong foundation within yourself before you even reach out to anyone else. And yeah, we probably get it. We get it from our parents, or maybe it could be from teachers. So I guess my thought is be trustworthy. And also reach out. Don't be afraid to be the first person to reach out to establish that trust, because we have the power to shape our future. We don't have to let life come over us. We can actually go and make our own reality and let that be established on trust.
Well said, Kristin.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking it's not surprising that Gina and I are siblings, because my first thought too was trust yourself, trust your instincts for the direction that you need to take for your business, with a client, with an employee. But I also think make sure we really extend trust to those people that we work with and empower them in that way by giving them that trust to really step up and be partners with us in our business.
Good job, Sherry.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Stephanie,
Okay.
you're up.
Okay. Well, of course, I love everything that's already been said. And since I'm a numbers person, I'm going to link it all back to the numbers. And I'm not going to say trust but verify. But I am going to say that it's important to trust, but you need to have an idea, for example, of the direction, you know, like Kristin talked about, setting up some boundaries and saying, here are the measurable pieces of what we're going to do together, so that, first off, you both know, so you're kind of on the same road, but second off, it helps inform your decision so that when you need to make a change, you're not solely counting on your intuition, you've also got some data to back it up. You know, just like we were talking about with the metrics, the analytics off of your social media outlets, for example. You know, if you're getting a feeling that something's wrong and then you go and look and say, oh my gosh, you know what? My problem is that I've got 8,000 followers, but there's only 3 that comment when I post. Okay, so you had the feeling, but then you figured out what could you do differently, and you know, how can I measure if what I'm doing now is getting me closer to where I want to go. So that would be my suggestion. Put some numbers, doesn't have to be a lot of them, but put some kind of target on there so that you can at least know, hey, this is going in the right direction, and it reaffirms your intuition. To me, it kind of gets you in that nice cycle of, I had a thought, I saw that it was true, so I can trust it the next time.
Yes.
That's a good angle.
Yeah.
Good job.
Because both are valuable, you're right.
Yeah, you need, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, your intuition is important, but you need also to balance it out.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Kristin,
love how
cut you
you're
off.
talking about like getting your hands ready, or getting your hands dirty. I mean, getting in there, doing it, like actually running it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. Over to you, James.
I think I did last 2 weeks ago when I was on here. I'm just going to agree with the panel of experts. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to touch on my quote about thinking positively. Thank you, Dennis. I'm going to touch on the thinking positively quote, how that helps you out. In the manner of trust, and we've touched on it several times in the show, you know, just imagine how much stress you're putting on yourself if you are not giving anybody the trust initially and the benefit of the doubt up front. That has got to be such a heavy burden to bear. And if you can just trust people till they give you the reason not to, you know, 9 out of 10 people won't. and you're taking that burden off yourself of not trusting. You know, if you're a manager and micromanaging your people, that's weighing on you whether you realize it or not. So it's time to realize it and open up and trust the people around you. Think positively of them, referring to my quote, and you'll also be lifting a burden up off yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Agreed. And I have to say about your micromanaging, that's kind of taking away the trust, and it's also diminishing the people. So you're not allowing them to reach their full potential because you're on top of them, micromanaging. So I agree with that, Jane. Good job.
100%. You're hurting that person and you're hurting yourself at the same time.
Right.
You're diminishing that person and his ability and probably the way he thinks about himself, and you're taking away some of your own freedom. Let it go,
Right.
you know. Let it go. Have some time to yourself.
Exactly.
It's like the mom that doesn't let the dad do anything with,
Right.
because the mom's supposed to do it better, right? No, let the dad make a couple mistakes or whatever, and trust is just gonna rebound.
Is that from experience, Kristen?
Yeah.
I can say yes to that one. I can definitely say yes to that one.
I've been on the other side of that one too. I am the dad that needs to be trusted.
But it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Huge. Huge.
I kind of have another follow-up one where we talk about like the difficulties in letting go of that, because it can be difficult to trust. It can be. I mean, of course, that's what we've been talking about, is definitely the benefits of establishing trust. But what do you do when it is difficult? So segue into another show.
I love it, because I was just thinking we should do something that says how do you continue to trust when someone makes a mistake, because I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Is yes, when someone has actually broken your trust, what do you do? So
where do you go from there?
Okay, I'm writing it down.
Forgiveness.
Another good one. Okay.
I mean, we don't talk about some of these terms and some of these things in business. We talk about them in our relationships, in marriage, but really, what is a business but a whole bunch of relationships?
Yep.
So I think that would be really interesting, is to talk about the value of forgiveness.
Yep.
Not saying I'm good at it, but I have benefited from it when I did pull it off okay. Most of the time I could do better.
And often you need it, right?
I need it every second of every day. Everyone on this panel needs to forgive me about every 30 seconds. So.
No, but I think that could be a really interesting discussion, because that's one of the places I think that you run into the most trouble, as an owner. The way that you handle the moment when things go wrong can determine the rest of the relationship, certainly. If you handle it, poorly, it could be the end of the relationship, whereas if you handle it well, you could get a customer for life.
Right, and not only that relationship, that one, because there's also like everything that springs off of that, like what you were saying about like giving reviews. Yeah, huge.
All the 10 people that tell 10 people that tell 10 people, and now there's 100 people. So it's better off just to handle it properly.
If you lose it on one of your employees that you've built a relationship for 10 years and you lose it on them in front of all the other employees, you've broken trust across the board, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. And I agree that everybody can see why it's not a good idea to do it. Like, we can all agree, yes, you shouldn't do that, but we're also all human beings. And so the reality is, what do you do when it happens? Because you know it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to explore that in another show.
All right.
That's a good topic.
Yep.
Topics. Several. We just came up with like 3 months worth of topics.
Woohoo! Network Roundtable's covered for a while. We are getting close to the 2-week Gombach break. I just want to make an announcement that all Gombach shows are going to be off air the end of June, like June 22nd for 2 weeks. One exception to that is Bandwidth, and that's because Bandwidth just got done with a 1-month hiatus. But everything else is... I gotta take a break, guys.
Can I just say, hooray! This is so big for Dennis. You know how hard this is for him to do this? Yay for the Deuce family.
Yes.
Okay, I'll try to be supportive. I don't know what I'm gonna do though. My whole kingdom or my whole world is like Deuce-dom.
I'm sorry, Kristin. It's just the kingdom you live in. The Deuce.
It's the one that I claim.
Now I got to come up with all sorts of other things to do.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I may be
I'm
productive.
sure there's going to be lots of activity on the Plus still, and I will be active, and Cheryl will be active. There just won't be any shows produced.
All right.
Okay.
I think that's great. Sorry for everyone who will miss Dennis, but I think it's good for them.
Oh, you know what? And you'll come back stronger. You'll come back like energized, and then we'll be like so happy. And then we're gonna be begging you next year to do the same thing. It'll be like this wonderful, just ricochet.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, I'm taking. I've got it in my calendar. I'm taking a total of 6 weeks off of production each year. 2 weeks in the summer, 2 weeks in the winter, and 1 week in each fall and spring. And it's in the calendar, and people will just have to deal with it.
Right.
You need. When it goes, everybody gets time off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's setting a good example, I think. Good job.
Thank you.
I think so too. So.
You'll have time to put together like a workout every day during that time, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that was the plan, James. It was supposed to be vacation.
I was thinking I'd run 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
workout.
Let me know how that goes, Dennis. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know. We'll be lucky. I might go biking. I will probably go skateboarding, but I really don't think I'm going for a run, Jay.
All right. I'll take you out on a bike ride then.
And I'll take you skateboarding.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's the end of this week's Network Roundtable. I am going to take us out with the wonderful sounds of, where is it? More Bludgeon Muffin, because it's one of those weeks this week. I am needing some nice reggae, chill factor, and I don't think I want to go with Revolt. Hold on just a second. Let me get
Well, can I
Revolt.
quickly pitch lightning round before you do that, Dennis?
Yes, pitch lightning.
We forgot to mention lightning round. So for anyone who's new to the show, because we did have a lot of people that were new this week, I'm very excited to say we saw tons of new faces in the comments. So lightning round is your opportunity to tell us in the comments what you thought the central thought of the day was. So, yes, we were talking about trust, but, what was your big takeaway or the thing that kind of held all of what we said today together? So hashtag it with lightning round and put your answers in the comments, and we will see you over there shortly to continue the discussion.
Yes. And just so that you understand, prior to coming up with themes, we just let this show completely evolve, and we've always found that there's a theme that shows up, and even now that we assign a theme to the show, there ends up being a secondary theme that is usually even more powerful than the one we're planning on. It's just one of the weird things here at Network Roundtable. It's one of my favorite words, serendipity. I love serendipity. So, let us know what you saw. Lightning Round has opened, and we are closing. And we're going to close with Be All Right. I think that's a good song for, if I can get my phone to open. Wow. Maybe we aren't going to have a song.
Well, let me find some music. You want me to find some music?
Well, the problem is that you probably don't have rights, and I do. So.
No, but I have rights for this.
All right, we're going out with Be All Right. Thank you so much. We will see you guys all next week.
All right.